We would like to call to order the October 14th regular meeting of the Willoughby Eastlake City Schools Board of Education. This meeting is being held in accordance with Section 3313.15 of the Ohio Revised Code. Mr. Charnello, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Bear,
Here.
Ms. Miller,
Here.
Ms. Verdi,
Here.
Ms. Schatzman,
Here.
Ms. Menser.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Will you please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We would like to welcome everyone to our meeting this evening. To ensure everyone is aware of the way these meetings operate, we want to share the following. Prior to this evening, each board member has received for their review and consideration the agenda and materials associated with each agenda item for the board's approval. Board members can discuss the items with the superintendent and treasurer. Board members are not permitted per Ohio Meetings Act and Sunshine Laws to conduct conversations regarding board business outside of a public meeting. Tonight will be the first time the board can conduct conversations as a whole regarding the items on tonight's agenda. Board meeting agendas are always available through the district's website for public viewing prior to the board meeting. Community members can always email the board with questions or come and participate in the public comment portion of our meeting. Public comment provides an opportunity for the community to address the school board directly. In order to participate in public comments, participants would sign up before the meeting. When signing up, you are provided a copy of our public participation policy. Participants are asked to abide by those requirements. We will now move on to our agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve our agenda?
Madam President, I motion to approve item 2A, approval of agenda.
Do I hear a second?
I second that.
Discussion? Mr. Charnello?
Ms. Bear,
Yes.
Ms. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Verdi,
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman,
Yes.
Ms. Menser.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Dr. Ward?
All right, good evening, everybody. Tonight begins part of my favorite time of year where we start highlighting each of our school buildings. And because we have more school buildings than we have months in the year, we're going to hear from two tonight. So with no further ado, I'm excited to welcome Grant Elementary School.
Welcome to the school board edition of the Bulldog Broadcast. Hi, my name is Ava Lovabini from the House of Amistad, and I've been doing Bulldog Broadcast for 2 years. Hi, my name is Madeline Beeler from the House of Nukamori, and I've been also doing the broadcast for 2 years. Hi, my name is Fiona Beeler from the House of Isabindi, and I have been doing the Bulldog Broadcast for 2 years. Today is October 14th, House News for the Week. Usually we recognize staff and students that have earned or given the most points for the week. However, in this live edition, we will be interviewing some staff and students. Let's start with the students. First, we have Leah Reed and Cece Hendricks. Come on out, girls. Okay, so Leah, Cece, what do you like about the house system? I love the cheer. I love the cheer too. Okay, well, do it then. 3, 2, 1. PROTOS, our house is the best. Bears coming through, we rep our crust. Woo! Good job, guys. Good job, okay. Girls. All right. And CC. Next, we have Nina Kaminsky. What do you like about the house system at Grant? That I met my 4th grade buddy at our first house huddle. They taught us our house colors and house symbol. Nice. Last, Mr. Sandberg, can you talk a little bit about how the house system at Grant relates to the portrait of a graduate?
Sure. The houses encourage collaboration among students and staff that normally wouldn't get a chance to work together. We get to collaborate at field day, our house huddles, house assemblies, and other special events. And all these opportunities for allow the students to build empathy throughout the building. We have a lot of fun, and we look forward to all of our events together.
Now, let's go to our live broadcast at the Board of Education. First, Miss Audino, how many houses are there at Grant?
Excellent question, Ava. We have 8 houses at Grant Elementary School, and each house has a different color, a different sign, and a different cheer or chant like we saw the girls do in the video. Although we are 8 houses, at Grant we are one family.
Next, Miss Reed, as a teacher, how do you use this in the classroom?
Well, in the classroom, students earn house points for being respectful, responsible, and ready to learn. Our 3 R's. Funny that you should ask, because when students are respectful and responsible, it helps us to be that much further along to be ready to learn as well.
Last, Mrs. Hendricks, how does the house system build excitement about school for your child?
They come home excited when they see their face on the leaderboard on the TVs in the hallway. We can also check the app and see their points given for the entire year.
Miss Brown, how do students get placed into a house?
Great question. All new students and kindergarten students that come to Grant get to spin our wheel. And once they spin the wheel and get a color, they stay in that house forever. So not just their time at Grant, forever.
Dr. Ward, we know you had a chance to spin the wheel last year, and you are a part of the House of Altruismo. We would like to invite the other board members to spin the wheel before you leave this evening. Miss Menser, would you like to spin the wheel now for the audience? We hope you enjoyed hearing about how Grant represents the portrait of a graduate. With the house system, we are creators and collaborators, communicators and critical thinkers, empathetic and resilient. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Grant students. I just wanted to share to the board and everyone here that, so first, I'm sorry, I'm Mrs. Brown. I'm the principal at Grant. And this was very much student-led, as you can see. We were tasked with telling the students that we wanted to showcase how the Portrait of a Graduate came alive at Grant Elementary School. And so they did that in two different ways, with showcasing our houses and how we collaborate throughout our school, all grades, kindergarten through fifth grade. And also, these are some of our leaders, the fifth graders here, of our Bulldog broadcast. So what you saw right here is something that they do weekly. They switch out some different students, but these are our primary leaders of this. So they showcased a couple things here and how the Portrait of a Graduate is coming alive at Grant Elementary School. So thank you all for being here and supporting us at Grant.
Now, if that wasn't exciting enough, I'm happy to welcome Ms. Pasquale from Longfellow.
Sorry, Dr. Ward, we have one more thing.
Just kidding.
Is that okay? We have Miss Madeline Beeler here, who has a special something to share. I'll leave it to her. Again, remember, we're very student-led.
Hi, my name is Madeline Beeler. I'm in 5th grade and I go to Grant Elementary. I was brought here today to give my favorite teacher an award. Now I have had 6 homeroom teachers at Grant. This decision was a hard one, but it had all come down to one. The teacher I picked has many good traits just like the others did. Here is why I picked the teacher I did. She is kind, funny, she always made class fun. She was always good at explaining class lessons. And she was always fair to everyone in the class. She was just amazing. I'm sad to be leaving Grant Elementary this year, but I'm happy to know that this teacher got what they deserved. So this award goes to Miss Ruggiero.
I also want to note that Mrs. Ruggiero is a 4th grade teacher at Grant, and I will have to say that when you ask a lot of students their favorite memories, it's that early on when they start school and they pick their favorite teacher of one of their primary early on teachers. But it was, as soon as I went to Madeline, she said, without a doubt, Mrs. Ruggiero was her favorite, and she was really excited to be able to represent her today. I just want to share that. Thank you.
And now, Longfellow, welcome.
Okay, come on up, girls. We have, is this on? Yes. We have our principal advisory group representing tonight. We don't have everybody here, but we have a few of them here. These students were chosen by their teacher to represent their classroom to be on the principal advisory group. And they've been working hard to put together a presentation for you tonight. Girls, come on back here because you want to use the microphone. Here's the clicker too. You were going to use the clicker.
Good evening. Good evening. We are from Longfellow Elementary. We want to present a portrait of a graduate competencies in 3rd grade. I'm Brinley Blessick. I'm Marley Light. I'm April Cadell.
I'm Peyton Jennings.
This is an example of our project we will talk about. I am a collaborator. When we build things together, we all help each other. We do our part and my friends do theirs, so we can finish faster and make it better. Collaborators share their ideas and listen to what other people think. We had to think, build, and work together for our treehouse project to be successful.
I am a communicator. Being a communicator means sharing your ideas and listening to other people's ideas too. It's like taking turns talking and making sure everyone understands each other. We communicated to share our ideas and how to make our treehouse sturdy. We had to listen to everyone's ideas and use that to help us. I am a creator. Being a creator means using your imagination to make new things or solve problems. It's like being an inventor or an artist who makes something special from an idea. In our STEAM project, we didn't know how to build a treehouse at first, so we tried different designs until one worked. Creators try new things and don't give up if the first idea doesn't work.
I am a critical thinker. Being a critical thinker means using your brain to think carefully, solve problems, and make good decisions. It's like being a detective who looks for clues and tries to figure things out. Before we started building the treehouse, we asked how strong does the base need to be to hold everything up. This helped us understand how to make it safe and sturdy. Critical thinkers ask questions to make sure they understand what needs to be done. I am empathetic. We had to agree and use ideas for the project, even if we thought our idea was a little bit better. We made sure that everyone had a part in our project. Empathy is when we try to understand how someone else is feeling better or what they are going through. When we know how others feel, we can help each other better and work nicely. I am resilient. Sometimes we need to make mistakes and learn from that. We have to be able to learn that making mistakes is okay and will make us better the next time. We tried different designs for our structures, but none of them worked. Then we learned what was wrong and built it better the next time.
We are on the move. Our future is bright.
Brinley, you go first. Because you were first on the just tell them what it is.
This is our tree house. We had to work together to make this possible.
That's okay. That's good. Very good, girls. Nice job. Okay, let's have Raina come on up and Lily.
We want to take a moment to celebrate Miss Tagger. You work hard and love for teaching have made a big difference in our lives. Your classroom is more than just a place to learn. It's where we feel seen, valued, and encouraged to be our best selves.
You connect with each of us, helping us grow and reach our full potential. Everyone talks about how you make learning fun and exciting. The relationship you build show how much you care about our success, both in school and life.
Miss Tagger knows how to make every lesson interesting, and she always helps us when we need it. We love how she cheers us on and helps us believe in ourselves, even when things get hard. She makes learning feel like an adventure.
Thank you for always believing in us and for all the time you spend making sure we understand everything. We really appreciate all the time and effort you put into helping us learn and grow. You truly care about us. We're so lucky to have you at Longfellow, Miss Tagger. You're the best. Okay.
A poem about Miss Tagger.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
M, motivating us every day. I, inspiring us in every way. S, supportive and kind you always see. S, shining a light on who we can be. T, thoughtful lessons that make us think. A, always ready with a smile and a wink. G, great adventures in learning it's true. E, every moment we're thankful for you. R, remembering all the fun we've had. You're a teacher who really makes us glad. Thank you, Miss Taggart, and congratulations.
And this is our wonderful Miss Tagger, fourth grade teacher. So we just want to take a moment. I want to introduce Mrs. Courtney Lawson. She's our assistant principal. And I am Karen Pasquale. I'm the principal. I didn't introduce myself. So thank you all, girls. You did a fantastic job. They worked so hard today, and they were so nervous, but they did an awesome job. Thank you.
Well, thank you guys very much. That was outstanding. I even saw collaboration up here at the podium. Who's going to talk next, right? So it was great. At this time, I want to introduce Mr. Brian Patrick, Director of HR. He's going to present our Impact and Connection Award. Mr. Patrick.
Feel like I'm set up to fail here after those kids. They're so wonderful. I'm like, oh. I have a couple important awards to give out to a couple adults in the room. Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Ward, Mr. Tornello, it's my distinct pleasure as the Director of Human Resources to announce a new tradition to the Willoughby Eastlake School District. The Impact and Connection Award is a new recognition initiative designed to celebrate employees who go above and beyond in fostering meaningful connections and making a positive impact in regards to students, colleagues, and the district as a whole. This award allows peers to nominate each other, highlighting individuals whose actions strengthen collaboration, inspire others, and contribute to the overall success of their school and of our district. It is a unique opportunity for staff members to recognize those who make a real difference through dedication, teamwork, and the commitment to building a positive district culture. So tonight I have the honor of presenting this award to 4 members of our Willoughby Eastlake family that were nominated by their peers, making a positive impact and connection every day. So I'm going to call them up to the front so they can be embarrassed for a moment. The first one is Maddie Karp from Grant Elementary. Do you have a house? I'm Amistad, by the way. So, okay. And so is Miss Menser now. Maddie Karp from Grant Elementary School is a custodian and has worked at Grant for a little over a year. Her colleagues state Maddie has consistently demonstrated hard work, dedication, and the remarkable ability to build meaningful relationships with students. She is dependable and always goes above and beyond in her duties, ensuring that our facilities are not only clean but also organized. One of Maddie's most impressive qualities is her rapport with students. She has the innate ability to connect with students and always takes time to learn their names, even though for a majority of her time at school, it's after kids leave. She has also taken the time to write notes to students or classes on special occasions. Maddie's friendly and approachable nature make her a beloved figure within our school community. She has tireless dedication, outstanding work ethic, and unwavering support for our students. Ladies and gentlemen, Maddie Karp. Yeah. Next, we have Michael Clements from Longfellow Elementary School. Michael is a music teacher and has been in our district for 16 years. His colleagues state Michael has consistently exceeded the professional requirements of his position and has set an example of what an elementary music program in our district could be at its apex. He has raised tens of thousands of dollars for instrument purchases, written grants to gain advanced training for himself and other music teachers in our district, is nationally published in one of our professional preeminent publications, and is a presenter at local and state conferences. He consistently supports his colleagues and has worked tirelessly on past levy campaigns to guarantee a stable future for Willoughby Eastlake schools. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Clements. Next, we have Christine Knotts from Longfellow Elementary. Christine is a paraprofessional in the first grade and has been in our district for 15 years. Her colleagues state Christine cares so much about each student. She is positive about school and our district and works well with all teachers in the co-teach environment. She has high expectations for all students and is an amazing first grade paraprofessional. She brings energy and positivity to the classroom and to our school every day. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Knotts. Finally, we have Allison Miller from Longfellow Elementary. Allison teaches second grade and has been with our district for 10 years. Her colleagues state Allison is an amazing teacher. She is kind, patient with all of her students. She's also an excellent co-teacher, always communicating, collaborating, and helping anybody wherever she can. She's open to new ideas and maintains a positive attitude that is contagious. She's always positive and has a big smile on her face. Allison is kind, patient, and builds strong relationships with her students, always encouraging them to be curious and confident. She creates a place for students to explore, ask questions, and grow. Ladies and gentlemen, Allison Miller. We had two other people from Grant that couldn't make it tonight, so we're going to honor them at the next board meeting. Thank you.
I'm going to invite our families who were here tonight for both schools to go ahead and leave. You can gather in the atrium for a picture, or you can stay. I don't want to, feel free also to stay.
Now we will move on to item 4A, public comment. Mr. Charnella, do we have anyone this evening?
John Mara.
Can you push the button on the microphone?
Good evening, Madam President, board members, John Marr, 39 Minnewawa Drive, Timberlake. I'm here today, by the way, excellent presentation by the children. So I'm here today to discuss an urgent need for budget realignment in our district and the impact of rising property taxes to our residents. Currently, 3/4 of our budget is allocated to wages and benefits. While teachers and administrators are essential, this spending level is unsustainable, especially with future pay raises and benefits costs. To address this, I propose reducing the teaching staff and significantly cutting administrative positions. Advancements in AI offer tools to streamline both administrative and instructional tasks, helping us to reduce workforce needs. AI can handle scheduling, data processing, even certain teaching functions, maintaining efficiency and lowering costs. Our expenditures are projected to rise from $109 million in fiscal year 24 to $129 million by fiscal year 28, outpacing revenue growth. Major cost drivers include salaries expected to rise from $58.4 million to $65.8 million due to wage increases and staffing. Benefits, healthcare costs, and projected to surge 38% in fiscal year 24 with additional increases in following years. Purchase services, costs for transportation, utilities, and other services are projected to increase from $20.4 million to $24.5 million. Debt service, principal, and interest payments will peak as several bond issues will mature. And we have, by the way, over, I think, $120 million in bonds. The latest ones that mature will be in 2050. Meanwhile, property taxes have become a severe burden. Outside millage, initially voluntary, is now treated like inside millage, meaning that as property values rise, so do tax bills. It is essentially an unvoted tax on unrealized gains. And 70% of our revenue is generated from these property taxes. For many, this burden can have severe consequences. Over 60% of our property tax goes to the Willoughby Lake School District. And if someone falls behind, even on a paid-off home, they risk foreclosure. This tax is non-voted, leaving residents with no say in these increases. Yet we're facing a 56.3 overall proficiency score in 2022, which is down from 67.7% in 2017. Jefferson ranks second lowest in third grade reading proficiency in the county, which is unacceptable to taxpayers. To protect our community from further tax increase and manage our budget effectively, I recommend offering early retirement incentives to reduce staff levels responsibly, implementing a hiring freeze, utilizing AI to handle routine tasks, consolidating classrooms and facilities, and merging schools in disrepair. These steps will help redirect funds in the classroom and reduce overhead costs, providing quality education without escalating the financial burden on residents. I urge the board to make these necessary decisions. Let's realign our spending to protect our students' education and ease the financial strain on taxpayers by cutting costs and
Mr.
reducing
Mara,
our
I'm
reliance.
sorry, your time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Thank you, Mr. Tarnello. We'll now move on to item 5A, board discussion. There was one item added, as Dr. Ward would like one, possibly two board members to participate in the AI task force. So we're going to open that up for discussion.
So I know I had sent an email. So I personally and professionally have been working in AI for quite some time, and I'm a part of a task force professionally as well. I work daily with generative AI, and we are exploring AI professionally for similar reasons. What we are finding, though, through a lot of experimentation and data, is that the human element is still a critical piece to any integration of AI. And for that reason, with my interest as well as knowledge, I'd be really happy to serve on the task force, not only to learn something new, but maybe to be a contributor.
I had a quick question for Dr. Ward, because I know this is so relevant to the future of everything that we're doing, and I know that at least within Lake County, I think within the state of Ohio, we are trying to lead the way here. And I think that this is going to drive a lot of our board policy and things that we need to be thinking about, which will impact the whole board. Do you think that it would be an issue if we just rotated like we've done sometimes in the past, where as long as we don't have more than two board members, we can, all get an opportunity to participate, in that way we all get an ability to contribute, like Krista was talking about, but also to learn as we go? Or would that be a conflict with the way you're running the task force?
Yeah, so just some background on the AI task force. The state of Ohio formed their AI task force at the beginning of the school year, and we had the absolute honor and pleasure for Will Beaslake to serve at the state level on this very important kind of work group. The group's been working over the last several months to come up with their draft blueprint for the state of Ohio to see the impact of AI not only just on school but on the entire economy in Ohio. And so it is an emerging area of importance for us to dial in on. We are leading the way. Some of the policy recommendations that you'll see coming out of the state of Ohio soon, the district's a little bit ahead of, because again, this is not an area where you should be leading from behind from my perspective. So I'm excited that in Lake County and across the northern part of Ohio that we're on the front end of this. With regards to who serves on the committee, I'm going to leave that up to you. However, I would say that because one of the 4 focus areas of the committee is policy, that the more perspective we have, represented, probably the better when it comes time to updating our policy on AI. The other 3 focus areas will be AI literacy, talking about what does it mean as this technology continues to evolve. It's not quite there yet with regards to its ability to impact, the classroom, but it's getting there quickly. And so partnerships is our 3rd focus area of the task force. And then practice. How do we put AI into practice to accelerate and deepen learning to ensure all students in Will Beaslake are growing and achieving and engaged? And so, the more voices, the better, because at some point we'll have to wrestle with policy.
So go ahead.
No, I was just saying, is anyone opposed to rotating board members going to?
I think that's a great idea.
So I was just going to say, if we're open to that, I think the first meeting is in 2 weeks, so we could just figure out who's available for that meeting,
good idea,
maybe
too.
to start with. And I'm fine with giving Krista first preference, since she probably is the most experienced at AI, if you're available for that one.
I am available.
Great.
I
So-
think, well, before we go too far, we're done. How do we want to report out? Do we want to follow a similar structure to
At the
committee?
next board meeting,
Yeah.
I would say.
Okay.
Whichever board members attend would just report out at the next regular board meeting.
Do you have the date handy, Dr. Ward?
I think it's October 28th.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not available on October 28th, but I'm happy to do the next one after that.
Are you available?
I'm available.
You want to do it? Great.
Great.
All right, we'll send you
See
guys
you there.
the date, location.
Thank you. We can move on to item 5B, legislative update. Mrs. Schatzman.
Okay, I'm going to be very quick on my legislative update, since I know there's some kind of game going on later or something. Okay, so I went to the ESC and participated in the legal topics and updates. And one of the big things I want to take away from that and bring back, which our administration I know is acutely aware of, is the developments around Senate Bill 29, which passed before the legislature went out of session. This is really about student data privacy, and on the surface, sounds really great, right? We use lots of third-party software, and we want to protect our students' data. What was put into the bill was something about parental notification, which of course is generally a great thing. There were some unintended consequences, though, when it comes to security and safety monitoring. So when we're looking at internally in school, students' laptops or emails or whatnot, as it relates to safety and security, sometimes things are flagged that really are not a safety and security issue. I think Dr. Ward said we might get hundreds and hundreds of notifications, and now those are all going to require parental notification within 72 hours and be restricted by FERPA. So it is a huge increase, I think, in the amount of communications our parents are going to receive. It will be surprising to them. And the legislature has already said that they plan to fix this in the session once they go back in between November and the end of the year. However, this goes into effect at the end of October. So some schools are choosing to reduce their monitoring. I don't think that's something that our district should do, and I think it's something we should weigh in on as a board. I think we would err on the side of safety and just burden parents with those extra notifications until this is resolved. So I wanted to make sure to bring it up, make sure we were all in agreement, and we can tell our administration that, because they will have to implement these changes. Is that a fair assessment of what you understand?
So I guess that's going to be a large burden for a very certain sect of your cabinet. Have there already been conversations about how you're going to handle and facilitate
Yeah, I'm going to shout out to Andrea and her department has done an exceptional job preparing for what's coming. And so we believe that we are as proactively on this as possible, but districts are scrambling as that date gets closer. So.
With that proactive nature, do we have a communication plan in place to notify parents so they understand the communications?
We do. We're going to proactively let people know soon the why they're going to see increased notifications. And we'll wait for the legislature to act. Like you said, we anticipate they're going to act to kind of make this a little bit more palatable.
And then Dr. Ward and I attended a session on Friday for America's 250th birthday, which is also known as the semi-quincentennial, if I'm saying it correctly. So there's lots of great programs, especially for fourth grade students, but all through education to kind of incorporate Ohio history, America's history as we come up to this birthday on July 4th of 2026. So that was exciting, and we'll keep you posted as more things develop and more events unfold. And then finally, the legislative platform for OSBA. So I think we elected, if I'm remembering correctly, Denise is our delegate and Krista is our alternate for our Capitol Conference. So this is our last meeting before we go to Capitol Conference. So we have attached to the agenda the current platform as well as the changes. And per my email, they're highlighted on line 688 and then line 964. So the suggested changes that the delegate will vote for is, would we like OSBA's lobbying to advocate for allowing districts to charge for the labor costs associated with fulfilling a public records request? So that's something that Denise will be voting on, but of course on behalf of the board, so I thought it was worth us discussing. I don't know if anyone wants to start on this one. I'll tell you I'm not in support of that.
I don't think we should charge for that.
I don't either.
Does anyone think we should charge for that?
I can see why it was considered. And we know, especially through speaking of Mr. Charnello, the effort, time that goes in. So I understand why they want it to be considered and allow it to be a local issue for us to decide, but I agree. I don't believe at this time that is something we should consider charging.
Okay, we're in agreement. And then the other one on line 964 is regarding tax abatements. This is something we're all probably familiar with. Maybe not Gabe, since you weren't with us when we last voted on this. But right now, for TIFs and CRAs, they are allowed to be, the taxes are allowed to be abated on all of the money that schools get. And this is a change to say that voted on dollars from a tax levy cannot be abated away from a school, despite the tax abatement that any municipal government may pass. So this is something that, this one I'm in favor of saying that we should lobby for, but I'd like to hear from the rest of the board about what you guys think.
I'm leaning towards what you're saying myself. But if anybody has any, saying no, explain why.
Like, my thought process is we let our voters vote on where they want to send their tax dollars. So I think it's a disservice to them when, without the school saying, hey, we don't need that money, to divert it somewhere else so that we're forced to go back to our taxpayers and ask for more money, especially given the situation we know our taxpayers are under right now.
That's exactly where I was coming from on that.
I agree.
I agree.
All right, I trust Denise to carry out our wishes. Thank you.
There we go.
That's all for me.
Perfect. We will move on to 6A. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of September 9th, 2024?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve the minutes of September 9th, 2024.
Do I hear a second?
I second that.
Discussion? Mr. Charnello?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verdi?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menser?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Mr. Charnello, you're up with your treasurer's report.
Thank you. First, we have the monthly financials through September, so the first 2 months of the fiscal year. Our estimated revenues are exceeding actuals by about $1 million, and our expenditures are under by about $2 million. Next month, all of our revenues and expenditures will be adjusted and aligned to the 5-year forecast that will be approved, where that will be at the board meeting for your approval in November. And as expected, interest rates are beginning to fall. However, we did reinvest wisely and saw a few underperforming investments mature, which allowed us to see an increase in our overall Red Tree portfolio. We should see our homestead rollback payment this month or early next month in the amount of around $4 million. We get those 2 times a year. And at the end of September, we submitted our final expenditure reports for all of our fiscal year 24 grants, and we did submit our ESSER, American Rescue Plan FER, last week as well, and that was due at the end of December. And our salaries are behind our estimates as payments for subs are in a lag, and supplemental contracts are loaded for payment beginning in October. So those we're starting to pay earlier in October. Our purchase services are typically low at first due to timing as well, since these services need to be performed, invoiced, signed off, and then issued, paid. And then lastly, supplies are heavier on the front end as the buildings and departments are buying what they need to start the school year. So everything ebbs and flows a little bit. It may look a little different, but that's usually due to timing. Grant application acceptance, 7B. We received 2 grants. The SST4 Post-Secondary Transition Grant. This is a grant for professional memberships for Career Tech. And the Job Coach Skills Trainer Project. These are funds to support activities pursuant to secondary transition. There are no purchase orders this month to approve. Just want to point out that. I'm going to give a little highlight on that one. 7C, transfer of funds. These are to rollover funds to close out prior year fiscals data, so 23 to 24. And so that was for 24 to 25, but the safety grant was 23 to 24 as that was closed out in September during that grant reporting period. Just want to note that that wasn't a typo, that was just to close that grant out. 7D, establishment of new accounts. The Performing Arts Center, the PAC. This is so any donations made to the Performing Arts Center and or fundraisers for the PAC will be spent on the PAC. And then 7E, student activity accounts. There are a couple new budgets for this year and a couple revisions based on the activity that they're seeing throughout the start of the school year. And then 7F, we have a few gifts and donations. The North High School class of 1972 donated $535 to the North Class of 1972 Scholarship Fund. Cleveland Metro Parks donated tickets to Willoughby Middle School, grade 8, to visit the zoo on October 16th, and these tickets are valued at $1,248. The Willoughby South Band Boosters donated $3,000 to the South High Marching Band for field trip transportation to Cedar Point. The OHSAA Athletic Enrichment Fund donated $2,000 to the South Athletics to assist with the cost of equipment, uniforms, game transportation, officials, improving student sportsmanship, and adult fan behavior. Ryan Hughes donated a 2011 Honda Accord and a 2009 Ford Escape to the automotive program at NCI Willoughby. Longfellow PTA donated $335 to Longfellow for field trip transportation to the Lake County Historical Society. And for the Grant Elementary School PBIS House System, Solentric, JSJ Construction Services, Third Generation Home Improvement, Chiro Life Chiropractic, and Physical Therapy each donated $250, and Leisure Time Warehouse donated $300. So thank you to all of them for their donations.
Thank you. Dr. Ward, you're up.
Yeah, I'd like to invite staff members from the School of Innovation to come on up. Come on up. Not even a gradual, just come on up. Hello, everybody. Come on up, all the way up. Come on up. We'll get you up there, get you in camera.
Don't be shy.
And so I am going to read a little bit and then go off the script for just a second. But the Wilby Eastlake Schools is thrilled to share that the School of Innovation has been named a 2024 Blue Ribbon School by the U.S. Department of Education. The School of Innovation is among only 14 schools in Ohio to receive this prestigious honor. And this is the first time since 2005 that a Lake County school has earned this distinction. As a side note, Royal View Elementary School was previously honored as a Blue Ribbon School in 1997. The National Blue Ribbon Award recognizes schools that achieve outstanding academic performance and/or make significant progress in closing achievement gaps among student groups. The School of Innovation embodies our district's commitment to providing students with an exemplary, future-ready education. To have one of our schools recognized as a top-performing institution in the country speaks volume to our community's trust in our schools and the collective efforts of our staff, students, and families. Congratulations to the entire Soy school community. We are proud of you, and we're excited to see some of these best practices slowly diffuse across the district in the years ahead. I'm excited also to note that a small team will travel to Washington, D.C. next month to accept this award formally. The district plans to celebrate this accomplishment on November 13th at 6 p.m. at Soy with an open house, and we look forward to, again, honoring and celebrating the entire school community. But on behalf of the Board of Education, district administration, the families in this district, thank you guys every day for what you do for our kids, for being a model school and also a blueprint of innovation for the rest of our district. We're so fortunate, and I know our families are so grateful for everything you do. So, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the School of Innovation.
Thank you, Dr. Ward.
You're going to get off easy today, but don't worry. November 13th, there will be a speaking role for all of you. So, thank you guys so much, and congratulations.
If you don't mind, I just wanted to say that these folks are part of the Blue Ribbon Committee. After the state nominated us, the U.S. Department of Education then sent this considerably large application for us to complete. And I did what all good leaders do. I pawned it off on other people. I'm just kidding. I didn't pawn it completely off. But I formed the committee, and they spent hours working on that application. And the U.S. Department accepted it in one try, which is unusual. Usually there's revisions. They did an amazing job. So I'm proud of them.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too, you guys can sneak out too if you want. This time I'd like to welcome Mr. Pennington, Assistant Superintendent, to come up and provide a update on Steering Committee number 2.
They didn't take the clicker, good. Good evening, congratulations, School of Innovation. They raised my daughter for 7 years, so I appreciate you guys. I know, she loves you guys too. She loves South too. So a couple weeks ago, we had our Priority 2 Steering Committee meeting. Heather Dodd, Andrea Trident in the back there going down this road with me, and Gina Kevern for being a thought partner as well as things. It was a great meeting. There's a lot to do in the world of Priority number 2. So going back to the strategic vision, the 3 big bullet points for Priority 2 were nurture the intellectual, emotional, and physical development of students, support the well-being and professional growth of the staff, and enhance opportunities to prepare every student for college, career, and military life. Pretty simple. That was sarcasm. So we broke our group into 3 different groups, and we kind of framed our brainstorming groups around key actions that might be needed, challenges and opportunities, and stakeholder input that we'll need along this journey. And we were really trying to look at student leadership and wellness, then student and staff recognition, and fine arts and athletics, or all of our extracurricular offerings. And so what is up on the board is really the purest of the ideas that came out of those groups from all of the brainstorming that happened over almost 2 hours. Under student leadership and wellness, there was a lot of talk about consistency in opportunity. With so many elementary schools, middle schools, to high schools, we want to make sure that our students have the same opportunities to be leaders, no matter where they're at. It's really important when you're vertically moving through a school district too, that if you get to a middle school and you never had student council and you don't know what student council is, it puts you at a little bit of a disadvantage. So we want that to be consistent throughout our district. Also, student mentorship and empowerment. And you're going to see this theme as I speak here tonight, that giving our student leaders more of a voice in what leadership looks like. We have a lot of clubs and teams that already have captains and section leaders and kids that are doing great things and already leading each other. And how do we empower them to come together and have conversations and help grow the next students? There's all kinds of national organizations out there that'll pit 8th graders with 6th graders to help learn middle school and seniors with freshmen to help learn the ropes of high school. And how do we really do that more in our district and consistently? And then again, student voice and collaboration with staff. How are we bringing our staff and our students together so that they're equals at the table, and not only their learning and their education, but what it looks like to go to school. Mr. Patrick did a great job at staff recognition tonight because that's been under works. It's awesome to see so many people identified. So we talked a lot about student and staff recognition in our group. Again, the student-centered recognition, and that it should be aligned with our portrait of a graduate, involve a lot of student input, and really promote positive school climate. Listening to Mr. Patrick's process for recognizing staff sounds a lot like what it could look like for students to me. And how do we get their voice, and how do we know who's really leading them and who they look up to? Also, district-wide consistency and visibility. Again, the students that were in our steering committee, did I do that? That means I did that. Wait. I used to wiggle wires for a living. What?
Don't touch it.
Too late? I'll talk over it. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
So we talked a lot about, where were we? Oh, the students in our group talked a lot about, it doesn't always have to be a huge award. Sometimes just a thank you or just something, public recognition in the building is the best way to feel good about yourself and what you do, and understanding how to reward different people, because not everyone wants to stand up here and get embarrassed while they get things. Some people just want to sit in the back of the room and get an attaboy. So we're going to look at that. And then the biggest, or one of the largest ones to tackle, will be fine arts and athletics, or our extracurriculars. And how are we empowering our students? And so we talked a lot about the opportunities for reflection, whether it's at the end of a season, after a big band competition. How are we bringing students together to talk about what they went through, talk about how it could be better, how they could be led better, how maybe they can be better students in that. And then, again, with empowering student voice, and then the consistency amongst our buildings. So there's going to be a lot of work in how do we empower our coaches and our students to come together and reflect and make the experiences our students have outside of the classroom just as good as inside of the classroom. I win. I'm done. Krista, Ms. Barrett, Ms. Verdi.
Ms. Verdi, do you want to provide any feedback into your group, or we were the committee members that attended?
Which one did you guys participate, of these three, did you guys participate in?
Sorry about that. We had such a variety of input from every aspect of people. We had student involvement, we had staff involvement, and it was just, there was a lot of ideas that we had come up with, and that was real good. It was hard to even just pinpoint to make the priorities of what was the best. So I think they did a really good job in getting that facilitated.
And I was a part of the Fine Arts and Athletics Extracurriculars group, and I was lucky enough to have a student in our group, which I think there was more learning to do, and that's one of the things we're walking away with. Oh, wiggle it again.
I didn't touch any.
I think before one of the things that we came up with, maybe as a consensus, as a committee, is we need more information, and we need stakeholders to provide that information. So we need to, it may not be the right word, but some form of survey to kind of aggregate, not just from our small committee, but broadly across the district at a middle school and a high school level for non-competitive and competitive extracurriculars, which have different stakeholder approaches to why they've joined the group. We need to hear their voices, and those voices would include the students that are participating, the parents of those students, but then also the internal staff members that support those organizations. And we need to really evaluate our current state and identify what's working, what needs improvement, and how to get there. This is definitely not a one and done. We have a lot of organizations led by a variety of people with a variety of students participating. I think there was a huge tie back to everything, to one word, and I think that's wellness. And I think that came out at the end of it as each group was talking, we all saw how there was a commonality amongst all of the 3 separate groups that had broken out. And at the end of the day, our students and staff sometimes spend more time in extracurriculars than they do in anything else. It's a huge portion of their life, and we need to be investigating and ensuring that that is a positive experience. So, and then more importantly, supporting, I think another thing that came out, and I forget who said it, I think it might have been Mrs. McGuigan, those middle students who maybe are not the underperformers receiving different tiered supports, not those overperforming all-stars who are constantly being recognized for their academic pursuits, but what about the students who are still finding themselves that fall in between, and they deserve recognition and or support something as well.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of that, one of the things that was a big takeaway for me was the importance of, like you said, as far as recognition, not only for the students, but for equal field for the teachers and the unsung heroes, which is the staff, that really are the nuts and bolts of how things are operated, and the collaboration of getting that recognition and really getting the highlights sometimes that they're the forgotten wonderful people. And so that was a real light bulb that went off in my head.
Just one more quick thing. Ms. Schatzman, you had asked a question, how is the committee addressing it through K through 12, maybe not just at a high school or middle school level? And I think that's where a current assessment of the state at all 3 levels, and then finding those common groups, non-competitive, competitive extracurriculars, staff levels, student levels, and then having equal conversation about each of those before decisions are made is kind of still work in progress. So the K through 12, how are we going to address this is yet to be decided upon. We have a lot more investigation to do.
I figured that was longer term planning, but I know how important all extracurriculars, particularly athletics, is to our whole community, and thinking about how we can incorporate that into the schools all the way down to kindergarten, I think makes a lot of sense. Like right now, there's a lot of city leagues or youth leagues, but a lot of times it's if parents can afford to pay for these private activities or things that are sometimes not affordable or not available to working parents, having that through school sort of makes it accessible to more people. So that's really where I just want to make sure we're mindful long term, but I know there are many things to do in the very short term.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Creep away, creep away.
And finally, I just wanted to take a moment and thank our administrative team. October is National Principals Month. I'm grateful to serve Willoughby East Lake Schools alongside some of the best administrators in the business. Our administrative team always puts students first and is passionate about the work we are doing to assure our students are future ready. We live in an increasingly complex time. The job of school principal has gotten harder, yet our principals keep showing up and continue to lead our staff and students and community. As superintendent, I'm extremely blessed to work with each of them and truly believe that because of their leadership across all of our campuses, that our future is indeed bright. I would also be remiss if I did not mention congratulations to the South volleyball team on winning the conference for the first time since 2012. Their current record is 17-4. If they win tonight at Medina, they will break the school record for regular season wins. They're ranked number 22 in the state of Ohio, which is aligned nicely to the We experience, which we just heard about. Also, congratulations to North golfer Lauren Iannetta, who holds the school record for 18 holes with a 71 and 9 holes with a 34. She's currently, right now, competing at the state level. And congratulations to both North and South. Last Friday, we had our spirited Battle of the Border. And during Spirit Week last week, our district once again was able to come together as one district and raise over $21,000 for United Way of Lake County. Special thanks to faculty advisor Aaron Dotson from South and Hannah Mitchell and Lexi Donch from North. Their leadership last week was part of the reason why our students were able to mobilize behind this great cause. So a lot to be proud of for sure. Certainly grateful to serve in this great community.
Thank you, but you're not done.
All right. Item 9A, lease agreement with Fraser Video Productions. They lease space on the second floor. In exchange, they provide us with multimedia services for free.
Do I hear a motion to approve 9A, lease agreement with Fraser Video Productions?
Madam President, I motion to approve item 9A.
Do I hear a second?
I second that motion.
Mr. Tornillo? Oh, sorry, discussion. Mr. Tornillo?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verdi?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menser?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
9B, lease agreement with Lighthouse Media Services, also using space on the second floor. This is a company that will assist in filming our graduation ceremonies at the end of the school year, savings to the district of about $11,000.
Do I hear a motion to approve 9B, lease agreement with Lighthouse Media Services?
Madam President, I move to approve 9B lease agreement.
Do I hear a second?
I second that.
Discussion? Mr. Tornillo?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verdi?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menser?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
For item 9C, this is agreement for services with Crossroads Health. This would be for those families that are not Medicaid eligible or do not covered by Lake County Adams Board.
Do I hear a motion to approve 9C, agreement for services with Crossroads Health?
I do make a motion to, for agreement for service and Crossroads Health.
Do I hear a second?
Madam President, I second 9C.
Discussion? Mr. Tornillo?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verdi?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menser?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Under item 9D, new fire alarm system installation at Willoughby Middle School. Be resolved that we replace the existing fire alarm system and align Willoughby Middle School campus to South High School.
Do I hear a motion to approve 9D, new fire alarm system installation at Willoughby Middle?
Madam President, I move to approve 9D new fire alarm system for Willoughby Middle.
Do I hear a second?
Madam President, I second.
Discussion? Mr. Tornillo?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verdi?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menser?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
So item 9E will be East Lake Public Library trustee recommendations. They are making the recommendation, and this board acts on that recommendation.
Do I hear a motion to approve 9E, Willoughby Eastlake Public Library trustee recommendations?
Madam President, I move to approve 9E Willoughby East Lake Public Library trustee recommendations.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
that.
Discussion?
Just want to take a second and thank Mr. Werner for coming to introduce himself and to be present during tonight's board meeting. Thank you. We appreciate you and everything the libraries do.
Thank you. Mr. Tornillo?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verdi?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menser?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
For item 9F, Little Red Schoolhouse trustee, we're recommending Sue Rosium be reappointed to the Little Red Schoolhouse Board of Trustees for a 3-year term, effective July 1, 23 through July 30th, 26.
Do I hear a motion to approve 9F, Little Red Schoolhouse trustee?
I make a motion to approve Little Red Schoolhouse trustee.
Do I hear a second?
Madam President, I second.
Discussion?
Only that we had an invitation from the Little Red Schoolhouse in 2022 to come and visit, but we were unable to get it all aligned, I think that I would love to have us and our administrators go visit the Little Red Schoolhouse, because we've never had a chance to go and visit yet. So I would be happy to take point in scheduling that if needed, but they
See,
invited us,
I
we
was
never
gonna
got
try to
go.
just sneak onto the 4th grade field trip, but like, that sounds even better.
Do both.
Discussion anymore? No. Mr. Charnello?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verdi?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menzer?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Item 9G is a memorandum of agreement with the Willoughby East Lake Teachers Association. Represents a adjustment in pay.
Do I hear a motion to approve 9G memorandum of agreement with WIDA?
Madam President, I move to approve 9G MOA with WIDA.
Do I hear a second?
Madam President, I second item 9G.
Discussion? Mr. Charnello?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verdi?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menzer?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Item 9H, Administrative and Exempt Employee Compensation Plan and Schedule of Benefits. This was updated as we do yearly to include the associate principals as part of this group.
Do I hear a motion to approve 9H, Administrative and Exempt Employee Compensation Plan and Schedule of Benefits?
Madam President, I motion to approve item 9H.
Do I hear a second?
I second that.
Discussion? Mr. Charnello?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verdi?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menzer?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Item 9I is a revised schedule for a career technical education fee schedule. Number 9J is the School of Education at Franklin University agreement to send cooperating teachers as part of our continued opportunity to develop future teachers in the profession. For 9K, a special service agreement, this would be a agreement for special education above and beyond what we currently provide in the district. 9L is an overnight and out-of-state trip request for South High School. The wrestling team is heading on a trip in January. 9M is an overnight trip, actually it's a day trip for our middle schools. You'll note, just as a quick point of order, it's Willoughby, Willowick, and Eastlake. We accidentally forgot to add Soy to the list. They will be added next month, so rest assured we will get this right. But they are going to take a class trip in the spring to the American side of Niagara Falls, so should be a nice trip. And then 9N would be transportation in lieu. We continue to update that schedule.
Keep going.
Okay. 10A would be for
We're
our
on a clock tonight.
I hear you, I'm working hard. For 10A would be our certified personnel agreements for this month. Of note, home instruction tutors, and then there are some retirements listed there, which we will also celebrate in the spring. So stay tuned for that.
What's a home instruction tutor?
What's that?
What is a home instruction tutor?
Great question for Heather Dodd, but typically, if I had to guess, this would be an instructor that provides for specialized instruction outside the school setting at home, typically for students with special needs or those that may be out for some sort of extended medical leave.
Thank you.
How'd I do?
Great.
Congratulations to me. That's good. I do pay attention. 10B would be the classified personnel. Again, this would be our opportunity to hire food service, student monitors, paraprofessionals, and also listed there, you'll see retirements and resignations. And then lastly, under 10C, supplemental contracts for those extracurricular experiences that we often talk about under the We Experience. That will do it.
Thank you. We'll move on to 11A, meeting notification. The next regular Board of Education meeting is scheduled for Monday, November 18th, 2024. It's a change in our normal schedule due to us being at our annual conference. It will be at 6 p.m. here at the Administration Building, 35353 Curtis Boulevard, Eastlake, Ohio. Move on to 12A. Do I hear a motion to adopt the consent calendar?
Madam President, I motion to approve item 12A.
Do I hear a second?
Madam President, I second. Oh, sorry.
Discussion? Mr. Charnello?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verdi?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menser?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
13A, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Madam President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
Madam President, I second.
Discussion? Mr. Charnello?
Ms. Bear?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Verdi?
Yes.
Ms. Schatzman?
Yes.
Ms. Menser?
Yes.
We are adjourned at 7:15 PM.